Good buck rub right there. Zach Gensler for Servicide. Standing in southern Pennsylvania, not my home state, one of the states I elected to hunt this year. I'm standing in a kill spot. And this is the very first time I ever set foot on this property. It's the first hour and a half that I've been on this property, or even this portion of state forest. And I just want to go through a quick general outlook on how I'm so confident that this is a kill spot, with never hunting it, never being here before. I want to lead you down the path of how I came to stand here today. Today's October 18th. Okay, they're starting to make some sign. Starting to see some rubs and scrapes, fresh. And I pretty much already knew that they were going to be in here without ever setting foot on it. And the reason I know that is what we got here. We got a state forest that runs down to the bottom of the mountain, and a couple hundred yards down there starts a private farm, a big working farm. Lots of ag fields, lots of corn, water, everything that you want on a farm to hunt deer. Okay? Let me explain to you why I think I got the better odds here in the next coming weeks to kill Mr. Big than a hunter down there. We're just as good at that. Started last night. I scouted this area for hours. If you don't know how to read topography, you better read a book on it or get somebody to teach you. Because if you're going to hunt big bucks, mature deer in general, then you need to know how to read maps. And what I gathered from the map before ever coming here was if I go directly east from where I'm standing right now and go down into the bottom, I will run right into a strip of woods that separates two large cornfields. Okay? And then that strip of woods runs into a pond. Okay, now we got water. And then it continues and just kind of peters out into another field. Okay, so what we got here is a great situation for me as a public land do-it-yourself bow hunter. Farmland's in the bottom. You come up, I'm on the first bench, okay? The first bench, and then it goes directly up the mountain from here with not another terrain break for several hundred yards. Okay, I came in here right away. I found a bedding area. I come in here in the middle of the day, October 18th, looking for the bedding areas, amongst other things, confident that I wasn't going to jump deer today. And that confidence came from glassing the farm from the road, from the side of the highway, confirming each field, what's planted, what's going on, is this a dairy farm, how much activity, is it a working farm, checked about their whole operation. Then when I gathered as much knowledge I could without actually talking to them, I looked their phone number up on the internet. So I called them and I asked them, I was just wondering, when do you believe you'll be harvesting your corn? And they had no problem telling me the first week in November. I thought, okay, thank you. So I knew this was a prime time to come in here, locate some bedding areas and some primary and secondary bedding areas after the corn's cut, because they're down in that corn right now. That's why I felt confident. And I came in here, it's a 1.6 miles on this bench, found two bedding areas, lots of sign, rubs, scrapes, the whole way in between the bedding areas, and sign leading straight down the ridge here into the farm. Okay, so not only do I have two bedding areas here, I also found that there's mixed white oaks and red oaks on this bench, which is a great thing. Now I got food, now I got cover, I got water, not far at all, probably half mile. I have to check the scale again on the map, but probably not even a half mile, right around in that area anyway. So they cut that corn. The deer that are not already using this as a primary bedding area, they're going to be migrating to the mountain. Okay, and also as the pre-rut kicks in, bucks are going to want to check bedding areas. They're going to want to know where the does are. The big bucks are going to want to know where the mature does are. Okay? That's who they hook up with first. So you need to locate them. You need to locate the food, the cover that they're going to use. When you're hunting the mountains like this, sometimes that's hard to do. You might be hunting a mountain. Pennsylvania is infamous for tons of mountain laurel, and there is. There's a lot of mountain laurel on here. But with all the other knowledge that I gathered on this particular place before I ever stepped foot on here, I could narrow it down to, okay, this area within a few hundred yards has to have some good bedding. And I was right. I was lucky I found 2 bedding areas. Okay? So with all that said, let me go over real quick. I want to keep this kind of short, but I want to go into hunting the wind in the mountains. Okay? I've been victim to thinking I have the perfect wind, driving 3-4 hours to Ohio to jump up in a tree just to find out that the wind was wrong when I got there. Okay, and I thought, what's going on here? You know, I kept checking the weather, checking the wind. Well, I concluded that when you're hunting mountains, when the mountain's done with this wind, by the time it gets to your spot, going around different terrain breaks, you know, different ravines, fingers, whatever it may be, steep ridges, it's not always going to blow true in your spot. Prime example to point that out right now is there's supposed to be a north wind, straight north wind, okay? 5 to 10 mile an hour today. Checked it again upon arrival, same thing. Cross-referenced it with local weather channels, same thing. Now that I'm here, it's a northwest wind, okay? All the information is still north. By the time this mountain's done with it, and it goes over different terrain breaks, I got pretty much a west wind, okay, which is a marginal wind for hunting this bench here, which is my favorite kind of wind. Okay, marginal wind where my wind's just almost not right, but it's big buck time then, big buck time. And then I come in here to further build my case and find big buck rubs, scrape lines, everything that you'd want to find in a public area, anywhere, but this is a public area, kind of hard to reach. Now I keep this book with me. I write notes. I've seen one of my other Service-Side brothers do a tip video on that. You can check that out. I don't want to go into great detail. Like I said, this is a general video. Okay, I'll go into greater details about each thing in some coming videos. But I'm going to write that down, okay? This spot, what I found out about it. I take photos. I take photos of the sign that I find. I mark the waypoints on the map. I go to my wind chart, which I do like a spreadsheet, and I'll mark for this particular spot a north wind. You're going to get a northwest to west wind, okay? So that's great info to know, because if you come here and you got a wrong wind, man, the deal's busted. The deal's more than likely busted, or you got to go on the outskirts of that good spot you found to hunt the fringes of it, and then you're just not in the core area that you believe that buck's going to come in a bow range. Also, last thing I'll just go over real quick, not great detail, but trail camera. I have a trail camera with me. I brought it in. I usually carry it when I go to scout an area, but with all the evidence I have at this spot, I don't need to set the trail camera, okay? This would be, if I didn't have as much evidence, this would be a place where setting a trail camera would be good. It's far enough away from everything that it's probably not going to get tampered with. And I know some people give me grief for putting my trail cameras on public land, but it comes down to, I buy trail cameras for intel. Knowledge is power. Okay, I look at it like this. What costs more? What's more valuable? My time or trail camera money? Okay? And what I mean by that is, do I want to come in here and hunt several days figuring things out? That's time I could be using elsewhere, when I could just have the intel, get in the kill spot, hopefully get it done the first a sit or two at the spot, and move on to my next adventure. So that's just a couple quick things I did to find this particular spot. I'm gonna go ahead and start packing out of here. I think everything's done here for the day. Next time I come back, I'll have a tree stand. So stay tuned. We'll see how it goes.